Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session, which is a very important one, exam tips session. This is being arranged by Wi-Fi for the first time. Uh, the purpose of the session is to make it simple and give you quick tips so that you, before your examination, this time as you'll be appearing for December 2022 attempt, so we want to give you the confidence, the motivation, and especially the tips that will help you to ace in December 22 attempt. We have our position holders. Along with them, we have Tashwita Gupta, who is a tutor at Wi-Fi for ACCA financial reporting and strategic business reporting SBR. Along with her, we have three position holders. Fatma Khurram, she secured nationwide position in Pakistan in paper advanced performance management. Along with her is Madhumati Govind. She secured two nationwide positions, one in SBR and one in APM. And then we have Sagar Patel, who again secured nationwide position in SBR. So we have three position holders here. Normally, when tutors give you the advice, I'm sure that is useful, obviously, because tutors are very experienced tutors and they have that experience behind them. But students tend to consider those as ideal tips. So what we want you to listen to these position holders, what they did before these few days, what are the tips they are giving you that you should follow to bring high marks. So that is why we arranged this session, and this is the purpose behind that. So now, Tashwita, I want you to start with the session and give a brief introduction about yourself, and then quickly you can start with SBR first, as we have two students who have secured SBR nationwide position in September 22.
Well, yes, hi everyone. And I hope all your preparation is going good and you guys have given at least one mock till now. And I congratulate, first of all, our rank holders, Sagar and Madhumati for SBR and Fatima for APM.
Thank you.
So my introduction, I am teaching SBR and FR and it's been since 2.5 years now. And I've been associated with Wi-Fi. And this session is going to be fruitful. So I would request you all to watch it till the end because you will get a lot of knowledge apart from what you are doing, because I'm sure everyone will be stressed right now. So it's good to get a break by watching a productive video rather than watching some Netflix series to get that break. So you will get some tips from experienced people other than the tutors. So I guess we would start with Madhumati. Hi, Madhumati, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good too. Okay, so Madhu, what would you suggest to the students? Like, what should they be doing in these days? Like, assuming the, exam is just next week.
First of all, at this point, when I had 1 week left for my exams, there's no more time for studying concepts. So let's just get that straight. All your concept coverage should have been done before. And there's no point in trying to learn anything new or learn anything complicated in the final weeks. This is the time to get your exam technique right. So question practice, mock exams, this is what you should be focusing on. Summarize notes, whether that's made by you or something that Wi-Fi provides or whoever your learning provider is. Summarize notes, this is the time for that. And just revising everything you've done. Timed practice, and hopefully you have someone to mark your answers or you have a really good answer scheme to compare it to. So that's what you should be doing. Don't try to learn anything new right now.
Right.
I remember SBR, when I was giving SBR, I had to give it at home because of COVID situation in Pakistan. So adding with Madhumati, I remembered that I just go through the technical articles last night, and to my surprise, the paper was from technical articles. Most of the topics tested were from the technical articles that were freshly published. So
Right.
that day, and I realized that it is very important to go through everything before the exams, days before the exams, not to put them till the end, because I felt a regret like that I shouldn't have go through, like skim them. I should have get to more details for the technical articles because they were very helpful, and papers, some of the concepts tested in the papers were from technical articles, especially in
Right, Fatima.
SBR, because there are
Right.
lots of changes in SBR related to sustainable goals, etc. So it was a very thing for me, and it was start of my professional exam. So I just really wanted to. I was wishing that I should have get to the technical articles more deeply and before the last night. So it's
Right.
a little regret I had for SBR.
Right. So thank you, Madhumati and Fatima. Sagar, I would ask you something now. So what do you feel about SBR and the days left? And do you think that whatever you've covered, like you've been taking classes from me, so whatever you've covered till date, how you should be revising? Should it be like going back to the study text and doing it, going back to the lectures or the grand revision, or what? What resources one should use?
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
So what I did in my September attempt, when 1 week was left. So first of all, I think we had given a mock. I think when it was about 1 week left. So after we gave the mock, some concepts were not very clear. So once you marked my script and you gave it back to me, I made sure I went through the mock first, and then I went through the mock debrief that was there on the portal, to understand where I went wrong and where I could improve. Then what I did, I think I downloaded the summary from the debrief from the portal, where all the standards were summarized. I went through that the night before the exam, just to refresh my concepts and all that. And then also the audio notes that you send on WhatsApp. That's what I did. I think every day I used to do them, so my memory is fresh with all the concepts and all that. And then what else did I do? I went through the grand revision session that we did. I think also that was just 1 week to the exam. Yeah. And then lastly, what I did was the technical articles. The technical articles are very important, especially I think the question 4 of the exam was from the technical articles. So I think I managed to score a
Right.
lot of marks there as well. Yeah.
So you did 100% of the technical articles or the ones which were
No.
prioritized?
The one you sent, I didn't have time to do all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fine. Over to you, sir, now.
Okay. We had a quick discussion about what we need to do in the last days. As Madhumati needs to leave, so I'll ask few questions directly from Madhu first, and then we'll come to the remaining two. You did give a basic idea that people should not be now actually focusing on revision is important here, and you can't just go to the basics here. Solving of the mocks and revision is what you just mentioned, which is important. I want you to keep it bit general, not just related to APM or SBR. I'm sure you did appear for mock for both SBR and APM, but I just want you to tell students the importance of mock itself, how important, number one, the mock itself is, whether it is for any paper, and the feedback, the script marking that we did, and anybody will get that script marking, how useful that first mock is, and after that debrief, how important that second mock is. This is my first question. Secondly, I want you to answer one thing here. Just in case, if someone fails in mock, maybe he or she secures 49 or maybe 51 or 52, just pass. So do you think mock is just to gauge your performance, and if you fail and you become demotivated because of that, so is mock just to test yourself finally, or is mock still one tool through which you can learn and perform best in examination? So this is my second question.
So the first question, for any subject, skills, professional, whatever, when you're writing a mock, the whole point is to find out what your weaknesses are and where you stand regarding exam technique. That's the first thing. Especially, I would highly recommend that you do 2 mocks. So I'm going to be talking that way. So the first mock is not to test your conceptual understanding or anything. It's to see how you manage time, what your exam technique looks like, is it working, and most importantly, to find out your weaknesses and all the mistakes you want to make. Hopefully you'll be making that in the mock. And I'm just going to join both the questions. In case you fail the mock, it's fine. You've found out all the places where you could potentially trip and fall, and that's a good thing. You can make those mistakes now so that you don't make them in the actual exam. So making mistakes in mocks is a good thing. And my mother would tell me that all the things that I needed to get wrong, do it in the mock. Don't come and tell me I didn't score very well in the mock. She doesn't want to hear that. She's happy when I make mistakes in mock exams ever since school, because that's the point. You're supposed to get stuff wrong, get it out of the way, and don't get it wrong again during the actual exam. So don't worry about that. And regarding the first mock, when you write it and when you get your debrief, which at WIFI we do, the debrief will definitely address all the technical parts of the question, the professional marks, whichever exam you're doing. And the takeaway from all of that is that once you have written the exam and then you see the debrief, you have a chance to then figure out for yourself what you need to do differently. So the first mock is really your trial run. The second mock is to give you a little bit of confidence, because hopefully you should be doing better than you did in the first mock, regardless of what you scored. Above 50, below 50, doesn't matter. But in the second mock, you should be scoring better. And that's for your confidence. And the final exam, when you go there, don't think of your mock scores as the benchmark for your real exam. That's just not how it works. It's supposed to help you build confidence and build technique. So the mock exam is really important no matter which subject you're writing, because as many tutors have told me, if you're going to learn how to drive a car, you don't learn the theory. You're going to have to get in the driving seat and drive. And mock exams are for that. You have to simulate that experience, do it for SBL 4 hours, for the other exams 3 hours, 15 minutes. You have to be able to sit there and write and not refer to your textbook, not ask your tutor what this question is. You have to do it yourself. No matter how equipped you think you are, you have to do it to get the real feel of the exam. And once you do that first mock, and especially if you attend a debrief, the second mock will be something which will be a lot closer to your real exam experience, and it'll be very helpful.
Okay, great. 2 more questions. Second last question is that what you did last day before the exam. Last day, I'm talking about if exam is on Tuesday, so what you did on Monday or last day before the exam.
Yeah, Saga just said pray, and that's true. I'll be general, be very generic. I mean, in the last day before the exam, you should be chill, find your Zen mode, calm down, and read your summarized revision notes and do all of that. But that's unfortunately not what I did before the last 2 exams. Before 8 p.m., I was very sick, and we had a huge power cut over here, so I couldn't access my resources. I was completely sick and I couldn't do anything. And the day before the SBR exam, I lost someone who was like family to me, and I was in no position to study or do anything. My point is, even if your last day doesn't work out the way you imagine,
that's important.
You need to calm down and go do your business on the exam day. I've come at it both ways. I've written my previous exams with a lot of planning. All those 3 months of work boils down to those 2, 3, 4 hours in the exam. And so you always plan for your last day. You should have a plan. But like in my case, even if everything goes wrong and you think the world is falling crazy around you, you should still have some confidence from all the work that you've done before. And very honestly, as Sagar said, pray. I went for both my exams fueled on prayer and a lot of belief in God, and that's what's got me here. And everything I have is by God's grace. But as for planning, if everything goes well, you should be just finding your Zen mode, relax, get some summarized notes. Hopefully the teacher send you audio notes. That's a good thing. Listen to that and just relax. Don't try to learn anything new. Don't freak out over something that you think you haven't seen so far. Just be calm and do your best.
Okay. And the last one is, you ever thought that you would become a nationwide position holder? I think you secured 82 marks in SBR, and I think it's 71 or 74 in APM. So you did had that in your mind before the paper. I'm sure you did complete the paper. You did 100% paper, right? So anything like that you had in your mind before that?
I
had that in my mind. Okay, honestly, I had
You
that.
said
Me
that
too.
I would. The
Same here.
tutors were confident. I wasn't, because, like I said, I was surprised that I managed to write the exams given all the situation that I was going through. And by God's grace, I have received national prizes before 4 times. So this would be 5 and 6. But
Great. That's great.
I didn't think this would be possible because the previous day I was worried that I would be able to go write the exam. And frankly, SPR and APM are two very difficult exams. And
Exactly.
I haven't heard a lot of people who take both together. So a lot of people told me it was an unusual combination. Why are you doing it? But if you believe in yourself, you have some faith in God, I suggest taking some leaps of faith and challenging yourself. You might be very surprised with what comes your way. And yeah, I didn't expect any prizes. I was praying for a pass. I was praying for first the ability to write the exam on both days. Second, that I would pass. And that was it. I was very happy. And everything else that came was just a beautiful bonus from God.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Madhu, for your beautiful experience, and thanks for joining the session. Thank you very much once again, and best of luck for the future.
I have one last question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so Madhu, that was awesome that whatever experience you've told, motivating to another level. I don't remember what was your score in mock exam?
Don't remember either.
It
I do
It was
was
more than
near.
50. It was more than 50.
I
I'm
do
sure.
remember that when I wrote the APM mock, I got very high marks and I was very suspicious of it because I didn't expect to score that much. So I went back after the debrief, I took out the answer scheme and I started correcting my own paper. And I gave myself less than 50. But that was not for the purpose of demotivating or anything. I just wanted to see what I could do better. So I thought the mock exam was it was quite liberal. I thought I wouldn't have given myself that many marks. And when we did the debrief also, I found a few places where I should have lost marks. So I went back and went with a very much stricter rubric and corrected my paper.
And how many
then found
marks
what
you
I
got
could
in
do differently.
APM mock?
And the first mock, I got some 80 something. That's just too much for
Wow.
me.
Which means we were
I
correct,
think,
right?
yeah, I think I have given you around 85 something in SBR.
Mm.
I don't remember.
You know, I drew a star in front of her
You
mock,
did.
so
I remember that.
yeah, so that was nearby. So you can say that from this, you can conclude that it's not that has to be same as the mock exam, but there can be improvements. Like if we ask Sagar, what was your score in mock?
I got 75.
So see, he improved in the actual exam. He got 75 in mock and then he got an 84 in SBR. When Madhu was nearby, she fell down by 2-3 marks only, 85 to 82, right? So this is like just a indication towards what you are right now currently. So you can improve. There are always few days left towards the actual exam. So there's a lot of scope to improve.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Madhu, you can leave the session if you want to now. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. And thank you to both of you and the TAs as well. You guys were so helpful. Sir, your live classes, both your live classes, I remember fighting to have the right to attend both live. They were really great. So for anybody else who's not writing their exam, but doing it later, please watch the live classes. And
Exactly.
thank you both so much. God
Yeah.
bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving towards Fatma Khurram now. Fatma, please, what is your suggestion? What students should be doing in last days? What you actually did maybe 3-4 days before the examination?
I would suggest a practice because this is not a time to clear your concepts and go through the syllabus again, or even go to the lectures or get the videos, whatever. One should practice. One should get to the inside of examiner what it wants, like read the question and attempt the question, make points, and then check it against the examiner report or the sample answers given in the ACCA website or the kits. It helped me a lot to judge what points I'm missing, how much points I'm giving myself, and what is the concept I'm not discussing or I lack discussing in this relevant case study. So practice is really important in the last day. Do not go through the book or concepts because it may confuse you or make you nervous, because I was nervous. I thought that I have left a lot of models or a lot of things in the syllabus, but the practice, when I started doing the questions and past papers and checked my answers against their answers, I was a lot more it was a lot more helpful for me that I'm doing better, and I just gained a little more confident on me. It's very important that we attempt the real paper confidently, otherwise the time pressure will kill us. Literally, it will.
Okay. And Fatma, did you complete your paper?
Yes, I completed my paper.
And was it exactly after 3 hours, 15 minutes, or you had some time spare as well?
It was exactly after 3 hours 15 minutes. Matlab, I had to plan my every question. I was so under pressure that I had to spend I had my watch with me, and I had a watch in the examination hall, and I noted the time, what time I'm spending in particular question for the
Okay.
particular relevant marks, because I don't want to mess up with the timing, because if I'm spending a minute with more marks in first question, then I have to spare it for the last question as well. So time management is very important.
Okay. As you said that you were continuously looking at the watch. So it was like that once you started section A question and you had 90 minutes to complete it. So after 90 minutes, you were like, okay, let's leave and let's move to section B.
Exactly, I did that. I considered it like 15 minutes. I was judging the time with 15 minutes break. After every 15 minutes, I was judging myself where I am. I am taking more time or less time. And luckily,
Okay.
I had a practice with typing. Students must practice typing because it's all about typing, and there should not be any grammatical or spelling errors while you are typing. Your typing should be good. So I was checking myself every after every 15 minutes that if I'm on time or not. And I had some points to include in section A, but I left it after 19 minutes. I didn't open it. I didn't recheck it. I just left. I had, before my section A is 90 minutes, I had 5 minutes. I just go through, look at my section A finally, and then just move into section B. I didn't go back because
Okay,
I
great.
knew it that if I did that, then it might be possible that my section B will not be as good as I planned.
Okay, that's great. Tashwita, do you think grammar will matter in examination when it comes to typing? Uh,
Well, sir, I guess some serious mistakes which are very recurring, they would give a bad impression to the examiner. So you should have that practice that you're not making spelling mistakes, or sometimes even when we are typing, we're doing a mock debrief. So it
hmm,
happens with the word, and it goes away with the practice only. So it's not that you can write 100% perfect. One thing here
exactly.
or there
Exactly.
is
So it's
fine.
not an English language paper.
Yeah, it's just that
Exactly.
it shouldn't be a silly mistake because of typing, and it shouldn't be recurring. That's the point.
Okay, okay. So Tashwita, if you need to ask a few more questions, let me think about more. And in the meanwhile, you can ask questions
Yeah.
from Fatma and Sagar.
Well, I am having a limited knowledge about APM, so I'll go to Sagar for that, SBR. So Sagar, from which question did you actually start your paper? Like we have this choice, we can start backwards or from the front. So what was your preference?
I think you had told us don't open question 2 before you finish question 1, because it will just lead to unnecessary panic and you'll forget what you already know. So what I did was I just started with question 1. It was a bit tough, so I could not really manage my time in the exam. I took, I think, 1 hour 15 minutes to finish question 1 itself. But I think I
Okay.
managed to get most of it, but it took a lot of time. Then I had to, when something such things happen in the exam, you tend to panic a lot. That I'll not be able to finish the exam and all. But I think what you told us after that, even if you waste a bit more time in question 1, make sure the other questions you finish in the allotted time. So I think it was 1.8 minutes per mark what you had told us. So I think I just followed that order till the last question, and I kept typing till the last second. So as until my paper went.
So you did complete your exam at the end.
I did. Yeah.
So what do you think specifically in SPR? Is it important to complete the exam or is it to write perfect answers?
No, I don't. You don't have the time to write perfect answers. Like, I think my question 2, I had to rush it because it was ethics. So I was like, let me just get to the point rather than going around the bush and all that. So I was like, let me get to
Right.
the point, and I finished the other questions. Because if you go to write perfect answers, by the time you reach question 4, you're not going to finish that exam.
Right. So it's a very important thing that you strike a balance, because some students, they have this tendency that they will always want perfection. I'm talking about the students who are over prepared. The ones who are just on the edge, they would always be like, okay, I just need to pass. But few
Yeah.
students, they want to meet the level of the kit answer. Now that
Yeah.
is something which is perfect. Even I can't achieve that perfection because
It's not
I have
possible.
done
Yeah.
that question multiple times as a tutor. So even I would not be able to do that when I'm doing it live session, right? So it's very important that you strike a balance and you keep an eye on the watch. So that's specifically what even Sagar told. Then other than that, Sagar, in the end days, what would you suggest for current issues, and which ones are the important ones, and what did? Well, Fatima, you'd like to answer that?
Current, I gave SPR a year ago, and current issues were the new topic in the syllabus. So we already had bought our books, kits 3 months ago, and 3 or 4 months ago, and it was COVID situation, so our exam also postponed to another session. So current issues were a big issue in our students' time, and it was not just current. We were so tense that what is exactly current issues, but basically it was a good addition in syllabus. We just had to go through some real life case studies and real life examples in ACCA, and basically it was a way of including more knowledge and application in the in the syllabus. I think so.
Right.
It's like that. If you you know better, you are the tutor here. But
Yeah.
it was a big panic for the students, and many students, I remember we had a group of global ACCA, and many students were confused and panic, and they were saying, what is current issues? No one was getting in depth what is actually the purpose of adding current issue in this syllabus. Everyone was like, what is actually inside current issues? Basically it was an application of the syllabus. In
Yeah.
my point of view, it was like
Yeah.
more like enhancing the syllabus and getting to know the world more than a topic or a concept.
Exactly. So there's more hype about current issues as compared to what the difficulty level
Exactly.
is. So current issues, if anyone is watching this video, I would say the important ones are very handful. You just have to read your last chapter of the Kaplan study text. So Sagar is back. Sagar, what would you suggest for current issues?
Sorry, I think my internet went away. I think you had sent us, I think, 9 important technical articles and current issues. I think that's what I focused on, and one of them showed up in the exam: climate change. I think that was
Yeah.
question 4. So
Exactly. Right. So whatever is the new edition, and just focus on that, the newly published technical article, the new current issue which is introduced in your particular attempt. Usually the syllabus changes every September. So you should focus on what is the addition. Like last time, climate change was an issue. Just make yourself acquainted with what is going around the globe. So climate change is something which is happening. So they're not going to ask you about what global warming is and etc. They're going to just ask you about the reporting concept, that how would you report about climate change in your balance sheet and P&L, right? So yes, sir, any questions from your end now?
Okay. Now I want I want both of you to answer again some general things, because just 2 or 3 days before, yeah, there are paper specific tips that tutors always give you people, but what about the general exam pressure? Because right now students are pressurized definitely, and they are like how things will be done in the examination, and they are overthinking on situations. So I need to ask few questions one by one from you. Those are different questions for both of you. One is how important it is for any student to have a good sleep before going to examination. How many hours actually is important, because I think there are different shifts. There is a morning shift or and afternoon shift or examination. uh, Not considering that, just let me know, Sagar, what was your plan before the examination? uh, I'm sure your answer would be in my favor, like 8 9 hours of sleep. I don't know. So, did you had a good sleep?
Actually, I did. I think the day before the exam, Ms. Tashwita had put a message on the group to, I think we can't do anything anymore. Let's just go for the
Just
exam
leave it and
tomorrow.
sleep
So
now.
yeah, just go to sleep. I think after that, I was like, just leave, let it be, and let me just go to sleep now. So I think I had a good sleep before the exam, and I had an afternoon exam. So I think it's better for me because I could not, me waking up in the morning is another issue. So it was better I did the exam in the afternoon. So I got a good sleep. But for those who have a morning paper, I think the sleep might be an issue because you're constantly thinking about the exam. But I think the tutor, what she told us, like, there's nothing much we can do now. The exam is there
Exactly.
tomorrow. Let's just go for it tomorrow. Yeah.
Which means it's very important for students to have a good sleep, maybe 8 hours, 7 hours. It's all about mind game. I just want to advise students that listen, if you have done a lot of hard work, maybe 2 months or 1.5 months, last day is where it matters, right? So you have to give yourself the best chance, which means you have to give your mind the best chance to think, because sometimes we overstudy, especially one night before the examination. I normally say this to students: if you haven't done anything since 2 months, what will you do in the last day? Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you
There's
cannot
nothing left to.
cover everything. So it's
Yeah.
important that you must have a good sleep so that your mind is fresh. What all you have in your mind, if you are fresh, then you can recall things very easily. Fatma, my question from you is, uh, during any examination, it's not just APM I'm talking about, any examination of your ACCA, because you are now ACCA qualified. So in general, can you recall any examination where during exam you felt like, oh, I cannot do this, this is too much, or things, time management is totally out and I might not be able to pass? Negative vibes coming to you, this is what my point is. So at that time, what you did?
Exactly, especially in my applied skills exams like F4 and F6, the law and the
Okay.
tech that got me. And I just I remember saying I didn't open the whole paper. I just got to one first question. Then I realized that I cannot attempt it. Then I moved to second question. Then I realized I don't know this answer. What is this? I'm just confused. Then for the third question, I was like, "Okay, I don't know the answer. I'm done with this paper." Then I just sat there for 5 minutes. I pray and I recite some surahs, and then I just took a deep breath and
Okay.
opened the paper from the last question. And then I just cleared my head. And unfortunately, the last question, I didn't know the answer for the last question either. But I
So
just
how did you
asked
pass
myself,
then?
I was like, I had to do this. I cannot just skip the questions like this. So I just sat there and I just asked myself, I have to answer whether it's wrong or right. And then to my surprise, I passed that exam. I just lost 15 minutes of panic in that exam, and I was like, I don't know the answer, what I'm going to do this. But I just took a deep breath and prepare my mind that I have to do this, whether I'll have the answer or not. I have to teach myself the question and I have to attempt the answer.
So
But
the basic point is that you don't have to lose hope. That's clear. You need to
exactly,
fight till the end. That's it. No
exactly.
matter what.
Attempt like it's your last try. Don't just make up your mind that I'll do it next time. Just leave the paper or do whatever you want. Just make your mind that this is your last time. You don't have any option left. You have to do it, whether you can or cannot. This is your last time. This is all
Exactly.
you can do.
Exactly. Exactly. Because there are few students who start, making a provision about the fees in relation to the next attempt. Okay, now let's arrange
Exactly.
fees for the next one. You don't have to. The point is, don't lose hope.
Oh,
Fight till
exactly.
the last. This is what the message is. You need to fight it. There will be so many negative vibes that will come to your mind during the examination. And even when I used to give my papers, and these things were very common, like, oh, I'm short of time, I cannot complete the paper. Just carry on and try to complete the paper. Sagar, any thoughts that you had in your mind before the paper? Because I had those. So I just want to confirm that you are forgetting things. Oh, I cannot recall the concepts. Last time what Tashwita said, I cannot recall what she mentioned about that. And things about, and so many things like these. So do you had any such experience, whether it relates to SBR or some other paper, where you thought, okay, I'm forgetting things?
Actually, yeah, I did, because first of all, I'm an exemption student, so I had no idea about FR or any accounting standard. So now learning all
Wow.
these things,
Oh my
learning
God.
all these things from scratch was a big hustle. So then, you tend to forget. Everyone forgets things. So I think she had mentioned something about hedging and all. So, the day before the exam, you're already stressing, oh, what if it shows up in the exam tomorrow? And then I don't know anything about it. So I think, yeah, these thoughts do happen. But I think it's about not panicking at that point. Just go and write what you know about it. That's what she told me. Just go write what you know about it in the exam. And I think just you hope that you've written something that makes sense for that particular topic. Yeah.
And I think those are false alarms as well, before
Exactly.
examination, like, okay, negative thinking. That is what, we are normally thinking, that I'm forgetting things, which is not correct. Because what I believe is, if you've spent 1.5 months on certain area, you cannot forget that just before the examination. So you just
It's
need to be relaxed, and you should have peace of mind, and you can do it. Yes, Fatma.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like to add one thing here. When I was attempting my mock, which sir gave us, I was attempting and I was like that I lack in this subject, I lacked in this subject. At first, I was losing hope. To be honest, I was like, oh my God, I'm not prepared and I have an exam in few days. What I'm gonna do? Then I thought about some positive things. Like, Alhamdulillah, I'm doing this mock, and now I know that I don't know this concept. I don't know how to calculate the value for money. I don't know which are the key performance indicators of value for money. I don't know efficiency. I don't know economy. I don't know these concepts. Now, after the mock, I'll do my best. Then, after the mock, I'll gain grip on these concepts. So, that's the main motive of attempting the mock or doing the mock again or attempting the debrief live session, that when you hear things, when you attempt things, when you read things, you get to know how well are you doing in these things, how are your concepts and how is your application in these things. So it's really important that you go through everything before the exam and especially practice, so that you know that where you stand.
I
Okay,
would
great.
like to add
Yeah.
something here. That little bit of negative thinking and getting nervous is also good indicator. At least you're concerned about your performance.
Exactly.
So sometimes, like, we give college exams till the last night, you're not concerned about it. you wake up in the early morning and then you study and then you give that exam. But in ACCA, if you are a little bit nervous, that is very good. You should be. So don't be afraid of it. But the thing is that when you're writing the exam, that is when in the first few seconds maybe you can still be nervous, but not afterwards. So that is just one point of counseling of your own self. Like I remember from my AAA exam, I gave SBL and AAA. I prepared for them at least together. And again, as Madhu said, that she gave unusual exams together. So these two were also unusual. And I remember that I got confused with the case study, that there was so much information available in that 50 marker in AAA that I was getting this thought that it just, bombarded on me that I might give it in the next attempt. Now, this is something which you have to reverse. If you are writing the paper and you think that I still have one attempt, that is hazardous. So that is the
Plus,
point
you
when
had that
you,
opportunity by looking at your
yeah,
age as well, right? You thought I'm just, 19, so it's okay.
no, no. I know I was 18. I
Okay.
was like, no, at that point, I thought I've never failed in my life. Then why I'm giving up right now? Just because I'm not understanding or I'm confused here. So it's just like you have to just make yourself clear, fresh minded. That's why sleep is very important. Hydration is very important, that you are
Yeah,
fresh minded. Like everything is not from the syllabus only. In life also now we are learning. Everything is not something for which you are prepared. So some
yeah.
things come which are not out of the set structure. So you should be ready to face that as well. So for that, you need confidence, you need to control your nerves, and you need to be fresh minded. So that is something which I wanted to add.
Exactly. There are certain factors which I personally believe student must know before examination. It's not just knowledge base every time, content coverage. We talk a lot about content, cover the technical articles. You know,
Mhm.
there are two things. One, how relaxed you are as a person before the examination, good sleep, maybe good food intake. Because once again, I'm coming to the next point, that is, don't overeat. For sometimes people,
Yeah.
like, let's grab everything and then, they can't give paper.
I remember, sir, PM was terrible for me. That's why I'm not teaching it anyway. I vomited just 1 hour before my PM exam because I overate. So I am
Uh,
just
that's
relating to
that's
what you're
the
saying.
that's the point. And on the other hand, it's not that you don't eat anything because you don't have that
Yeah.
energy. So it should be a
Exactly.
balance something. You need to have good food intake so that your mind works well. Plus, one thing is very important. Reaching examination center on time is very important.
Exactly.
A quick one. I just want to give you an idea. In one of my FR exam, I got late because of that. I lost my calculator somewhere. Then it created all the pressure. So when I was into that exam center, that those days it was center based papers, no computer based. So I was 15 minutes late, in short. And the first question, Tashwita, was of consolidation. And in FR I was so much good in consolidation. I don't know why I'm not teaching this paper, but 12 kit questions I remember, and all those 12 to 15 kit question consolidation I did, income statement or balance sheet, that were
Mhm.
100% correct, no mistake. And the first question that came in examination was of consolidation, and due to pressure, I was not able to solve this till 50 minutes, and I was like, what is happening? This is my strength. That is where I start losing the confidence, and I left consolidation. Honestly speaking, I left it because I was like, this is my strength. I cannot do it. And I couldn't spend too much of time. In fact, it was more than 1 hour, and I had to move to next question, and then it was final accounts and all. So in the end, I was 15 marks short. My point to student is, if you're not on time, this means if because of all these mishaps, you are not able to complete the paper, then this creates a lot of extra pressure on you. Strength will not be a strength in that case. So peace of mind is very important. But at the end, I turn up getting 74 in FR at that
Okay.
time. And honestly speaking, once I came out of the exam center, I was like, this is end of the world for me. Consolidation, so much good in accounts. not able to complete paper. And the next exam was of financial management. And I had to somehow fight with myself to motivate, let's cover FM before the examination. In FR, I got 77, which 15 marks I didn't do. Whereas in FM, I got 73. So I scored more in FR. So having a positive mindset is very important. That is very important. And this is the message to my students. Don't lose hope. It's not end of the world, it's just an examination. Just do it, give your best till the last minute. Any quick, yes, Fatma.
Sorry, I want to add something here about exam. Like you were saying that you are good at consolidations, but there are some times when the student is unable to understand the question and student is saying that I am not good at this topic. This syllabus topic is not familiar to me. This question is not familiar to me. I'm unable to get the answer in my mind. So I will recommend that don't leave that question. Write something. Write anything you can get. Just don't
You can write
leave
any
it
good
blank.
song, right? Any good song that you know. It's not.
If the examiner is good, like musical, he will give you all the marks he can. But otherwise,
If it is a college paper, that works.
Yeah,
Really?
this is what my point is. Yeah, that works. Okay. So the point is that we need to write till the end. Okay, Tashwita, any few last FAQs coming to your mind? Because being tutors, students do ask a lot of questions, and especially a few days before the exam. Quick FAQs that are coming to your mind that you want to ask Sagar or Fatma before we go towards the end of the session.
Well, I would say these two people here are overachievers. So they must have prepared from the very day one. And even there are students, there's a sect of student who do last time preparation. Even I was one of them. So I would also like to address them that sometimes maybe because of your work obligations or it is in your nature that you procrastinate. So you're studying towards the end. So for you also, I would say that just keep your hopes high. And if you have just studied like 15 days before you've started the syllabus and you've covered, you can say, major portion of it already, I would say whatever you've studied in the most recent time before your actual exam, that remains fresh in your mind. So you have an edge in that point. So don't underestimate your preparation. You've given your best given the circumstances and the time that you've had. So be content with your preparation. The first point is contentment. If you're not content, you will be nervous. If you're nervous, you will just trouble yourself and flunk the paper. So if you have that control on your mind, that clarity, that freshness, you will be able to crack it irrespective of what time you have spent in the preparation. And also, I would like to say for specifically FR and SBR, Sagar, I would like to ask this to you. Was there any question in your paper where you felt that you lack content here or you don't know what to write?
Yeah, there was one question, question 3, consignment arrangements. We had covered, I think, 5 minutes in the webinars, but I think you have make sure we did cover it. So at least I remember what you had said in that. So I just wrote that. It was for 7 marks. I don't know if I did justice to it, but I just wrote what I knew about it. It was IFRS 15. Yeah.
Right, I know. So it is just about that you are actually writing something. As a student, if you have attended lectures or if you have watched any free resources, you've at least covered something about every syllabus area. Sometimes a syllabus topic is there which is too much in depth. For example, I'm teaching SBR, so I would take an example of IFRS 9. As Sagar mentioned that there was hedging. So hedging is a very difficult topic, considered to be difficult even in the accounts field when you're working. So that is basically in depth of IFRS 9. You should know just that what is the definition of hedging, what is the basic concepts involved. If the question comes up for 9 marks, 8 marks, at least you can write the basics. You won't be having lack of words there. So, and if you read the case study mindfully in the exam, then you'll also be able to relate. Now, what do we do as tutors? When I was a student also, I used to teach myself. So that makes your concept way too clear. So in the exam also, I guess one of them said this, that they were teaching themselves the case study, that you will teach yourself and then write. So sometimes if you're stuck there, teach that case study to your own self and then write the answer. So you will get some productive outcome.
Mhm. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sir,
Okay.
I have a question for
Yes.
you. I was meaning to ask you from the very first day I attempted the APM. If you remember, there was a calculation related to ABC costing in the last attempt, which a lot of students were confused about. There were no proper basis given, and I basically didn't do the calculation because I was not able to perform those calculations. So what I did was in the exams, and I think which helped me a lot, did not attempt the calculations, but I made the structure of the calculations. For my,
Okay.
I made the structure, that ABC income statement structure, abnormal and marginal, whatever the formulas was there, whatever the structure, I didn't know the what were the basics, and from which we have to calculate the OAR, etc. I was unable to identify those bases, but I made the structure and table in the Excel spreadsheet. I didn't leave it. I just made the structure and wrote all of the narrative about it, that will calculate it like this. I didn't leave it, but I write it the narratives of the calculation, that this is how the calculation will be performed. So I think it helped me. Do you think it would have
Now,
helped me
it
the
all
same?
it all depends on the requirement, Fatma. If the requirement is to calculate, so narrative will not work.
Okay.
Format will work for you.
I think
That
so.
anything you worked out, okay, that's fine. Format will work, but again, it will not give you passing marks. So if the verb is to calculate, then narrative will not work. But if the examination requirement is to explain how the calculation needs to be performed, in
Right.
that case, definitely narrative will only work and there's no need for format. So it all depends exactly on the requirement. If it
Right.
is to explain the procedure of the calculation, then narrative. Otherwise, you need to calculate and you have to do the calculations in that case.
Yeah, you taught it about the verbs and how to use the verbs in the exam, so that the examiner will catch that we are answering what he has required. So it helped me a lot when you identified the different words of the questions. It was really helpful to attempt the question.
And one more thing, it's for example, if any student in any of the examination, they are not sure about any figure or any basis to use. So just use a basis that you think is appropriate and do perform your calculations. You know why? Because marks are not just for one particular item. Plus, there is an own figure rule.
I
What is
guess,
own
sir.
figure rule? There is own figure rule, and what is own figure rule is that if you have done mistake at a particular point in your calculation, okay, so
Okay.
no matter exact final answer is wrong, that doesn't matter. You just perform your
I guess, sir, your
Got
video video is kind of hanging in between.
okay. So the point is you must go with the calculations.
it all depends on the requirement and the verb which
Yeah,
is
exactly,
has been
exactly,
mentioned.
exactly. Okay, so I think let's come to the conclusion of the session. First, I would like Sagar to quickly just tell few final 2-3 tips that you want to give to the students. First, let's start with Sagar.
So first of all, I'd like to say all the best to everyone who's sitting for the SBR exam. I'll just like to give you what I was told by Ms. Tashwita before our exam. Go through everything, but it's not a must, you know, everything. So just go with that mindset in the exam that, yes, I've done enough for this paper. What I don't remember, I don't remember. And yeah, I think what I've done is enough for this paper. Yeah. And all the best to everyone again. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Fatma.
Uh, All the best, everyone. Just don't panic. Do your best. Consider it that this is the only chance you have. Do your best. Do your 100%. Don't, if you don't know any answer, if you think the question is difficult, just give your best. Just don't lose hope.
Okay, great.
Right.
Tashwita, now as a tutor, what last few tips you want to give to students in general?
Yeah. So I would just say that take proper sleep, stay hydrated, make yourself, you have your exam dockets and all the documents ready well in advance. And you're not panicking at the end moment. It should not be that your mind is full of things just before you reach the exam center, right? So you should make sure that you are calm, composed, and have a maybe 5-minute session with your own self. You can meditate or whatever you consider as prayer, you can do that. And at the end, it is the exam day, which is very important. So whatever preparation you have done, yes, you have a lot of time still. If students will watch this session tomorrow, so they still have a lot of time to actually practice or work on their weak areas, because these are the days where most of the students are like off, taken their offs from their work and everything. So you still have time to spend on your own self. So rather than taking pressure, getting tensed, being nervous on your preparation, rather take time to work on your weaknesses practically. So don't overthink. Overthinking is bad. A little bit nervousness is fine, but you shouldn't be thinking so much that you're, wasting your time. Time is very important in these few days. So that's what I would like to say. So exam strategy, make sure you are handy with it. I would suggest that, as I've said in my video, which I've shooted for Wi-Fi, so just make sure that you have feed it in your mind that by what time exactly, if you're starting your paper at 2:15 p.m., so from 2:15 till what time I should be done with question number 1. So you should have that feed in your mind. So when you look at the clock, you don't waste your time calculating how much time is left, or you don't do that 1.8 minute per mark there. So before you go to the exam, you should have it in your mind that I should complete it by 2:45 or whatever you have in your calculation. So that is also a very important homework before the actual exam. So all the best to all of you. May God bless you all, and may you all pass with flying colors.
That's great. Uh, I think almost everything has been covered. I'll just give you a quick summary once again, because the more you listen, the more you're able to, apply. So few key important things that you have to keep in mind from this session is you need to just focus, just make sure you're positive. Time management is crucial for the examination. Don't go into new topics now because you don't have time much. What all you know, just revise and keep on practicing. Examiner reports, if you haven't gone through, just read last 2 attempt reports, which will give you the idea about that particular paper. Make sure that you reach exam center on time. Make sure you sleep well. Make sure you eat, but again, balanced diet. And make sure that in examination, it's like a war. It's like a war for you. You are a warrior there. Just use all the tools you have. Just don't give up. Just don't give up. Fight till the last minute, no matter what. If you do get negative vibes, just ignore that. Just keep on just keep on solving the paper. Any difficult things you have, leave it, move on to the next one. Solve easy things first. I always say that in examination, it's not that complete 100% paper will be difficult. There will be approximately 50-60 marks that are easier to solve. Yes, it's a balanced paper, obviously. So just find easy marks, just grab easy marks so that you are able to capture minimum 50. That is what is needed. Don't overthink, remain positive. Plus, if you feel like you're forgetting things, it is just simple negative vibe. Just remain positive and just tell yourself, no, I know things, I can cover things on time. Other than that, it's very important on that particular examination day, that you need to keep watch in front of you and just do as Tashwita said, just feed in your mind the targets for yourself that, okay, I have to complete this by that particular time. You have a navigation tool available for skill module papers. So just flag for review is a very good option for you. If you have any doubt, just use that tool maximum and do revert back once again. Leave difficult things, move on to the easy things first, because remember, you are not there to grab total 100 marks. You cannot grab 100 marks, okay? You need to secure minimum 50. So by those easy areas, you'll be able to figure out those, you'll be able to get those 50 marks, and then the difficult areas will give you few marks as well. So this means you will be over the line. Prayers are very important. Your own prayers, prayers from your parents will work a lot. If they have some issue with you, just say them sorry. If they are stopping you from something, I'm not going into details of that, what they want you not to do. So just tell them, okay, fine, for a few days at least, I'm not doing that particular thing. Just make them happy. Just ask them to pray for you, because it will do lot more what we normally do through our own practice. I hope you all pass with good numbers, give your best. You have done the hard work, and just do hard work. This is what we can do, and then let's leave everything to God. Once you're done with examination, my advice is please don't discuss paper, please. In WhatsApp groups, it will do nothing to you other than it will demotivate you. Once you're done with exam, don't leave the group. I'm not saying that. Stay connected, but just keep that group on mute. Don't discuss anything with anyone, because people will create a lot of frustrations. Enjoy your weekends, enjoy your holidays, and just say to yourself, this is what max I can do. I have done it. Now I'll leave rest to God. Thank you very much, Tashwita. Thank you very much, Fatma, Madhu, and Sagar for joining us in the session and helping the students. I hope this session will really be a confidence booster and motivational one for the students. Thank you very much. Rizwan, Maniya signing off from Wi-Fi.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye, everyone.